Hello YouTube, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about books that I'm planning on reading when school starts back up, which for those of you who don't know, which is probably all of you because I too did not really figure this out until very recently because of all the changes that Stanford has been implementing. So I guess this is a little bit of an exciting announcement too, but I'm gonna be finishing up my master's in media studies. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking a few classes this fall, and I decided that I would start making a list. It's actually been a bit since I've been intentional about reading books outside of my course readings, but this summer I've been trying to read a lot more, as you've probably seen on this channel. And I've also noticed that I've been collecting some books that I keep meaning to get to, but just haven't been able to for sometimes years. Like, some of these books are years old in this stack, but they're books that I really do want to get to now. So I'm going to try to keep myself accountable and commit to reading them. The first book is very critically acclaimed. It won a Pulitzer Prize. It was a National Book Award finalist, and it is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I've had this book for years now. I think my mom got it for me for Christmas or something a couple years, probably when I was still in high school, honestly. I don't really remember, but yeah, so thanks Mom. And I've heard so many spectacular things about this book, and it's just been sitting on my shelf unread. I mean, it's kind of a brick of a book, like hardcover too. It's really big and intimidating to me, so that's probably part of the reason why I haven't read it, but I've just heard so many great things about it. I believe it's historical fiction. Goodreads says it's about a blind French girl and a German boy whose paths collide in occupied France as both try to survive the devastation of World War II. Yeah, so I'm super excited for this, and the cover art is so cool. Like, look at that. It's so cool. Okay, moving along. Next up, we have The Vegetarian by Han Kang. This book I heard about in a class I took last fall. It was a creative writing class, but it took kind of an unconventional approach compared to like other creative writing classes I've been in, where they split us up into small groups, and every week they would have us read a novel as a class, but then on the last week our small groups would pick a novel for just our group. So the group that I was in picked Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway, but one of the other groups picked The Vegetarian, and it sounded like such a cool book, so I've been wanting to read it since. It's about a woman and her husband who, so according to Goodreads, they live a pretty ordinary life until she has a nightmare. Ugh. Okay, this nightmare is pretty graphic, pretty gruesome. So after that, she just cannot eat meat anymore, which becomes a pretty dramatic decision culturally and definitely goes against a lot of the norms in South Korea. So yeah, I mean, I have been kind of exploring topics of food and culture and like dietary habits in my own writing this past year, so this book definitely appeals to me for those reasons. But also the cover is very appealing as well. I am such a fan of cover art. I don't know if I've ever shared that before, but yeah, the bright red with the silhouette. Alright, so next up we have Minor Feelings by Cathy Park Hong. My aunt actually got me this book pretty recently. It's kind of like a graduation present. I actually read Engine Empire a while ago, which is one of Cathy Park Hong's poetry collections, and I loved it. So when this came out this year, I was like, wow, I need to read that. It's a book of essays, I believe, kind of like memoir essays. So Goodreads says, as the daughter of Korean immigrants, Cathy Park Hong grew up steeped in shame, suspicion, and melancholy. She would later understand that these minor feelings occur when American optimism contradicts your own reality, when you believe the lies you're told about your own racial identity. Next up is another nonfiction book. This one is really special to me actually because it's written by a professor I had for 2 of my classes, and when I flipped through it just now, she actually dedicates it to her students, which is so sweet. And yeah, this is How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. This book is pretty legendary. I've seen so many people talk about it online. It was literally one of Barack Obama's 2019 picks. I don't know if you remember when he was circulating that like one image with like his favorite books of 2019, but this was on there. Can you believe that? I'm so excited to read this book, first because she's my professor and I want to support her work, especially because she would tell us about it all the time in class, but also because I feel like learning how to do nothing, okay, it's not actually like a guide of like how to do nothing, it's this subheader represents it more accurately: resisting the attention economy. This is going to be so important for me, not only in a school setting, but also beyond that, like for the rest of my adult life. Like this is going to serve as a reminder that I need to like reclaim my own attention and focus on what I want to do, what I want to spend my time on, be a lot more intentional with that. And yeah, I am so excited to read this book, and the cover art is just gorgeous as well. Oh, I forgot to compliment Minor Feelings. This cover art is so cool too. Like, look at the flames. Okay. okay. Next up we have The Friend by Sigrid Nunez. This book I heard about for the first time winter quarter when I was doing, oh, I should make a video about this. I did this program called the Leventhal Tutorial where Stanford pairs you up one-on-one with a Stegner Fellow, which there's a lot of words and terms in the creative writing department. I can definitely make a video explaining all of that, but basically my Leventhal tutor talked about this book a lot during our tutorial, and then she sent it to me as kind of a graduation gift as well. And yeah, very sweet of her. Okay, so Goodreads calls this book a moving story of love, friendship, grief, healing, and the magical bond between a woman and her dog. Aww. This cover is also so cool. I love the colors and how the primary colors go across the middle and the secondary ones are up and down. And the little dog, so cute, so cute. Okay, I cannot wait to read this book and I will let you know what I think. The last book is White Teeth by Zadie Smith. I've had this book since high school as well, and I just have not gone around to reading it. That's basically the long and short of it. This is also kind of historical fiction. It takes place in World War II. It revolves around these 2 friends and their families. It's kind of complicated to summarize, so I don't know if I'll try to do that, especially because I don't know if it contains spoilers or not. So yeah, I'll just say that White Teeth is a book that I've really wanted to read for a long time. So that is my TBR for the school year, I guess. It's definitely gonna take me a lot longer to get through these books while I'm also juggling several classes, so that's kind of why I'm giving myself the entire year. But I'm really excited to get to them, and definitely let me know down below if there are any books that you're planning to read this school year, or if you're reading any books now that you really love. And yeah, thanks for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye!